They say the dead don't walk. They say ghosts can't touch you, can't speak, can't open car doors. But the people who say that have never driven the Angeles Crest Highway after midnight. There's a stretch of road called the Angeles Crest Highway, just north of Los Angeles. By day, it's beautiful, winding through the San Gabriel Mountains, past pine forests and steep cliffs. By night, it's something else. No streetlights, no guardrails in some places, and a silence that feels like it's waiting for you to make a mistake. 3 friends from Burbank, Mike, Jake, and David, decided to drive up there one October night. They wanted to reach an old campsite near Mount Waterman, somewhere they'd gone as teenagers. Just nostalgia, they said. Just a few hours of driving. About 30 minutes in, David said he needed to pee. Mike pulled over by a broken picnic area. David grabbed his phone and walked into the trees. 5 minutes passed. 10. Jake honked the horn. Nothing. Mike called David's phone. It rang from the back seat. David had left it there. They shouted his name into the dark. Only the wind answered. Mike and Jake searched the woods for nearly half an hour. They shouted David's name until their throats hurt. Nothing. No footprints. No movement. No response. The forest seemed to swallow every sound they made. Finally, exhausted and unnerved, they gave up and headed back toward the car. As they stepped into the clearing, both of them stopped. The driver's side door was open. The interior light glowed softly, and someone was sitting in the back seat. Mike's flashlight beam landed on the figure. David. He was staring straight ahead, not moving, not blinking, just sitting there. "What the hell, David?" Jake yelled. David slowly turned his head. His face looked pale, almost gray. "Where were you guys?" he asked. Mike laughed nervously. "Where were we? We've been looking for you for 30 minutes. David frowned. "No, I came back after a minute. You weren't here." They drove for another 20 minutes. Then, in the middle of the highway, they saw a man, not waving for help, just standing there, barefoot, wearing a torn flannel shirt, staring into their headlights. Mike hit the brakes. The man walked to the driver's window and whispered,
"Please, something chased me into the woods. I've been running for an hour."
He said his name was Sam. His car had broken down a few miles back. Mike and Jake looked at each other, then let him in. Sam sat in the back, right next to where David should have been. And that's when things got strange. Mike and Jake kept talking to the empty seat, passing snacks to thin air, laughing at jokes no one had said. Jake turned around and said,
"David, you want some water?"
Then he handed a bottle to the empty space. The bottle didn't fall. It floated for a second before Sam grabbed it. Sam looked in the rearview mirror. He saw only himself. No David. But Mike and Jake clearly saw someone. The radio turned on by itself. Static, then a news bulletin.
3 young men from Burbank went missing on the highway. Their car was found abandoned near the Buckhorn campground. Only 2 bodies were ever recovered.
Mike changed the station. "Old signal," he muttered. But Sam noticed the date on the radio display, 2019. He checked his own phone. It was 2022. He asked,
"How long have you been driving?"
A few hours. We're almost there.
Sam looked at the odometer. Over 300,000 miles. The seats were torn. The carpet was wet. This wasn't a car that had been driven for a few hours. This was a car that had been driving the same road for years. Then, thump, thump, thump. The left rear tire went flat. Mike pulled over. The forest went completely silent. No wind, just their own breathing. Mike and Jake got out to change the tire. Sam stayed inside. Through the window, he watched them work. They kept looking at the space between them, nodding, laughing. Jake said, "David, hold the flashlight steady." A flashlight lifted off the ground by itself. It hovered in midair, then tilted toward the tire. No hands, no body, just a floating light. Sam felt a cold breath on the back of his neck. He turned slowly. The back seat was empty, but the seat belt was unbuckling itself, one click at a time. Then a whisper, right next to his ear.
"They left me at the picnic area. I fell into a dry ravine. I've been running after this car for 3 years."
Sam threw open the door and ran. Mike and Jake turned to look at him, and for a split second, just a flash, their faces weren't faces. They were skulls, hollow eyes, wet skin, clothes rotting. Then they were normal again. Mike said, "You saw him, didn't you?" Sam backed away. "You're dead, all of you." Jake shook his head. "We didn't know, not until someone tells us. We've been driving this road every night for 3 years, looking for David. But David is the one who finds us. He brings us new passengers." The back door of the car opened. No one was there, but wet footprints appeared on the asphalt, one after another, walking towards Sam. Then a shape began to form. A man, soaked, grey, head tilted at a wrong angle. "David." He smiled and said, "Thanks for the ride. Now you can drive us next time." Sam ran. He ran until he reached the Angeles Crest Ranger Station. A pickup truck was parked there, engine running. An older man sat inside. Sam pounded on the window. "Please, there are 3 men back there, dead. I need help." The driver looked at his passenger seat, an empty seat, and smiled. 3 men? I've only ever seen one. He's been sitting next to me for 3 years. Says his name is David. Says he's waiting for his friends to pick him up. Sam looked at the truck's license plate. Date of registration, 2019. He turned to run again. But the ranger station was gone. He was standing on the same stretch of highway, headlights behind him, headlights ahead, the grey sedan, and the pickup. Doors opened. Mike, Jake, David, and the old driver all stepped out. They walked toward him, smiling the same smile. The driver said, "Don't worry. You'll learn the route after a few nights. We all do. And now, if you ever drive the Angeles Crest Highway after midnight, keep your windows up. Watch for a grey sedan with 3 men inside. They'll wave at you. They'll ask for directions. Don't stop. Don't look in your back seat. Because if you see a wet handprint on the glass, it's already too late. You're not driving them home. They're driving you. Welcome to the loop."